Do you remember in the playground at school, the my dad is bigger than your dad, or if you're friends with them, I'm not friends with you arguments?
Oh
The
yeah,
discussion,
yeah.
right?
Character building.
You can, you cannot imagine that an adult
Mm,
creating these discussions could only have a childish mind and has never really left the playground since they were a kid.
yeah,
They're still doing it today.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, let me introduce you to Kier Starmer, who is wishing to put the security of the UK at risk because he doesn't like one of Donald Trump's friends.
Mm,
Really?
no,
Starmer is putting up at the country's success because of a personal tiff. I sometimes have to ask myself, you know, what's going on?
yeah.
So let's have a look under the bonnet so far. Let's have a look at what led up to this. Kier is upset because Elon Musk has said bad things about him. So basically, he's saying to Trump, if you're friends with him, Five Eyes will basically become Four Eyes, just like he is.
Yeah,
Of course, there's two flaws to his demand there.
yeah,
First is he has to have the permission of the other three eyes to oust the US.
yeah.
And there are another two organizations called Nine Eyes and 14 Eyes, of which both the UK and the US are involved. And
Yeah.
so you'd have to have you'd have to have the aval, you'd have to have the permission
Mm,
of everybody else so he can oust the US. And I'm
yeah,
not too sure that he'll get that. And even if he did oust the US, and these countries still have a Four Eyes or a Three Eyes or a Two Eyes with the US, anything that the UK tells them, they're going to tell the US.
yeah.
So I don't thought it through very well before he's opened his mouth. But anyway, you see, when the British Foreign Secretary calls Trump a fascist and Hitler-like, that's okay.
Yeah.
When the current administration allows a gaggle of left-wing militants to travel to the US to try help Kamala Harris win the election, that's fine. But when the shoe gets put on the other foot, all hell breaks loose. Starmer is in charge of a country whose economy is heading for a recession. It's been revealed today
Yeah.
that the cost of borrowing for the UK has risen so much
Mm,
that either Rachel Reeves is going to have to add on more tax, which of course everybody wants, or reduce spending,
mm,
which of course everybody wants
mm,
because of their policies,
mm.
which has reneged, I think this is the word, on just about every one of its policies
Yeah.
he used to get elected,
Mm,
and looks to be heading deeper into the doo-doo. The last thing he can afford is to threaten a country, probably the most important country in the world when it comes to the economy,
mm,
where the administration hasn't even been formed yet. What is he thinking?
mm.
Is Starmer to remove David Lammy from government because he said bad things about Donald Trump? Well, he hasn't done so far.
Not really. Yeah.
If Trump puts tariffs on British goods, that will put the kibosh on any hope of an economic recovery for the UK.
Mm,
Starmer is in no position to lecture the US about a private figure that isn't even part of the administration yet.
mm,
And just because he was called out on possibly the biggest British national scandal the country has ever seen,
mm.
I'm sure that Starmer has other more important things to worry about, although I'm also sure that Starmer doesn't think so. A message I would give to Kier, is he queer Starmer, is grow some balls.
That's quite the
You
message
have
I
to
could
you
give.
have to
Yeah.
you have to be thick-skinned to be head of a nation.
Yeah.
And looking for safe spaces just makes you look weaker than what you actually are.
Mm.
There you are.
Well, you're talking to me, Starmer's
Yeah.
biggest fan,
Are
about
you talking to me?
you're talking to me. Oh yeah. Um, he's Starmer is a peculiar character at best. He's not someone I mean, I don't know the guy. Yeah, yeah. Um, I I know what I see in the public media. Now, normally politicians are very adept at being all smiles and charm and everything else. Yeah, which okay, we all like honest politicians. I like to think they are, but Starmer isn't even honest with it. You know, he could be all dour and everything else. If he was at least honest and competent, capable, whatever adjective I want to use. Yeah. I've got a lot of misgivings about my leader, and it pains me to say this on a basically an international podcast, which we are now, looking at our statistics. That we have a leader in the UK who, whatever you might level against the incoming US one and the previous US one, we have a guy who is so detached. I don't know about ignorant, arrogant, um, dishonest. Um,
This you have to include childish.
well, the man is my age. He's older than me. I mean, okay, I'm childish sometimes, as you know, my likes and things. But yeah, I revert to a different thing sometimes. But um, I don't understand the guy. Well, I do understand the guy. I look at him and I can see how transparent he really is. The guy can be bought quite easily.
That's been
Um,
proven.
yeah.
Been proven by all the
Uh,
gifts.
well, yeah. Does he have an ideology? Yes, we all know too well the ideology he has. Um, my personal belief is, grow a pair. I want him removed. I want him removed from office. I'm going to be perfectly blunt on this. I want him removed.
There's nobody to replace him, Mark.
Well, that's the big problem we have. But
You
well,
can't remove
I,
somebody
I
to
I'm going to
avoid.
extend that. I'm going to extend that because he's not in this alone. I want the entire administration removed.
You remove everybody, you're going to lose vacuum, and that's when the Taliban comes in.
Well, okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know. I know. Look, as I said to you before, there's a difference between emotional desires and, yeah, the head on me is saying stability. Does he offer stability? You've just said no. Um, what are the other options? Well, another general election at the moment. Nobody's ready. Um, okay, the most obvious choice to replace the Starmer administration is a conservative one. Okay, forget. Okay, no, I'm qualifying this establishment already. Okay, um, radically changing is reform. Yeah, but we're not even there. Nobody's talking about another election at the moment. Even the other two parties, the two main other rivals at the moment, because they're not ready. Kier Starmer can do almost. Is a dictator. Let's be honest about that. This over the I mean, yes, let's be honest. I think Elon Musk, okay, we're talking about Elon Musk here. Elon Musk has come in and said a few things on the social media, which would probably be best ignored, actually. Well, not ignored, but why it was responded to. We're all piling on. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't, or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm not on that myself. Yeah, we did have a presence on there. When it got kicked out from Brazil, I decided that was it. It can't be bothered. But it's um, as you quite rightly say, he does seem to be in emotional turmoil as well. He plays a straight-faced man, boring. I think the guy is dangerous. absolutely
Yeah,
dangerous.
if his reasoning is off kilt, then it's possibly that he's going to say something or do something without thinking about it, and
Well,
it's going to
by
do more damage than good.
by definition, he was a lawyer. I mean, he wasn't a lawyer as in, from what I understand, stand up in court. I mean, he was a human rights lawyer who was defending immigrants or people coming to coming to the UK, staying there. Okay, and he was quite good at doing that, apparently. Um, he's probably a technocrat more than anything else. He's a desk jockey in effect, or a keyboard jockey, whatever you want to call it, like that. That's where he does these things. He's probably very good at writing reports and making arguments for what he believes and things like this.
Apparently
Unfortunately,
not, because he's refused to do one.
well, okay, I'm putting my hat on with that. Do you do an emotional response to that? It will take so long to do. I mean, let's just put it this way: there'd be so many people chucking chogs in to actually try and get this done. He knows that, and he'd be administrating that as well. Let's be honest about it. Um, we all know what has gone on. There's a lot of people that have been touched by it, or probably in these major towns, somebody knows somebody that's been affected by it. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I've encountered people that have been the victims of abuse, not associated with these cases, but yeah, have been abused and all that. And it's a very to dismiss these people as this and that and the other um, is wrong, totally wrong. I mean, these were still children when they were being manipulated. Let's call it what it was, manipulated. Um, it wasn't being picked up, and he was saying, "I'll just ignore it." He's a coward. Oh, I don't know if he's a coward.
Well, that's another trait of his in that case.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it on the man and not on general politics, because
Uh,
it's
uh,
when you concentrate on the man and you'll see where his flaws are.
well, yeah, but you want somebody in there that can deal with the general politics of everything on day to day, as you said.
That's right. Yes, and that's exactly right.
And he is not he's not a man I would put in charge of anywhere, quite frankly. Um, I wouldn't put him in charge of them. Well, I don't know. I mean, when I read things, it's all glowing reviews about him and all that. When you go on the internet, you try and find things outside his circle. Um, and all we've got to go on is the legal profession of what type of person he was professionally. Glowing reviews, which is probably understandable. He's a technocrat. Um, now, unfortunately, he's in a position where he does have to understand people, how people think, how people maneuver. Okay, it's all right saying let's not have an emotional knee jerk to this, but to just dismiss everyone that's calling for something as extremists is defensive, is ultimately very, very cowardly and defensive. Yeah.
It's almost like Hillary Clinton saying, "If you don't vote for me, you're a deplorable."
Okay. And then what happened? People picked up on it. Now, people that don't agree with him are now saying, my badge of honor
Trying
is
to
to,
he's trying to use the same tactic.
yeah, and it's not working because people that disagree with him are saying it's the badge of honor to be called far right
Right.
extremist
Yep.
by Kier Starmer. It means I'm normal, I'm ordinary. Um, the man, I'm sorry, well, I'm not sorry for this. I'm going to state what I feel. I do not think he's a competent leader of the United Kingdom as a man. I do not believe he's a competent anything for anything. I question his ability to be a compassionate human being. And I can say this because, yeah, I'm saying this from what I've seen on media. And like you say, um, he's quite happy to support. I mean, yeah, he said these people from the Labour Party went off to the US to be on their own sort of thing. No, that was too well organised. Okay, whatever way you look at it, it was organised from within the Labour Party office. Yeah, this trip to America to vote. Go. David Lammy, we know who David Lammy is. I don't think, let's be honest, Donald Trump is not talking to David Lammy. He is talking to Nigel Farage, who's again coming for something else, but that's a side issue. Yeah. Um, it does strike me Elon Musk, as you said, he's operating pretty much on his own. Elon Musk being Elon Musk, really. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you into a little secret,
Mm.
right? And I'm not going to dwell on this because I want to
No,
concentrate
no, no,
on
no.
Trump, right? But you know that Donald Trump, I'm sure he and Elon Musk have had a lot of conversations together, and I'm sure that Donald Trump has said to Elon, "Go out and
Yeah,
stir things up,"
yeah, of course.
because that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing.
Yeah, yeah,
He wants to buy Canada. He wants to rename this. He's been outlandish.
yeah.
Donald Trump has been outlandish to shake up the world, to shake up the leaders of the world.
Well, that's obvious. Yeah, even I said that thing.
He's wanting 5% now military spending for NATO,
Yeah.
5% of the GDP
Mm.
which I mean the countries weren't even spending 2%. So you can imagine 5%. And so all the leaders of Europe
Yeah,
and just around the world in general,
yeah.
they're looking, what on earth is going on?
Well, of
And
course.
he's going to get their attention. And then once he's been invested with the office of president,
Yeah.
then of course it's going to calm down a touch. But I
Well,
think within this moment where he's saying, let's put the US on the stage, let's do it.
well,
And
yeah.
that's why
He's operating like a chief executive officer. He's doing the hardball selling or the hardball sort of negotiating now.
yeah,
Yeah, come back and make me a counter offer. Show me what you've got.
that's right.
Yeah, again, that's a side issue. We're back on Starmer. If Starmer's biting to Elon Musk, um, which I'm again very, very surprised at the way that Starmer is operating, given that he's a trained lawyer. Trained lawyers should have calm heads, not be emotional wrecks. Um, yeah, I mean that's the opinion I've got. I mean, yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve sometimes, as you will know. I'll go off and explode on something, but I tend to do it not in necessary in public, only to you, Steve. And you just tell me, yeah, calm down a bit, right, resolve it, and that's it. It's done. It's dealt with. It's your sounding board. But he's using the country as a sounding board. And it's like,
Well, he's using the country as a weapon,
yeah,
if you like, as a weapon for him to use, so that he can be happy with what people who are not part of this country are saying,
well, yeah,
and you
uh,
just can't do that.
he's weird. He's peculiar. I wouldn't even say he's not Stalin-like. I'm not accusing him of being Stalin-like because Stalin-like was a brilliant strategist, actually, if nothing else. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say I support of Stalin, but when you study Stalin, he's an interesting character. Um, he's not Hitler. I mean, I don't like labeling anyone as being Hitler because that is just downright nasty. I'll not say narcissistic. That is a very peculiar thing to say about anyone. Um,
Nasty, nasty.
nasty, yeah, nasty, yeah, nasty, nasty. Um, yeah, I think at the moment,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he's up against people that are masters of passive aggressiveness, such as Nigel Farage. Even Kemi Badenoch is quite good at passive aggressiveness, and they are getting under Starmer's skin all the time. Um, there's almost a wink and a nod going on between Badenoch and Farage to get at Starmer. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well, of course, the press are helping them as well. Of course.
yeah. Well, the press have really turned on him when they've suddenly realised, well, if you didn't know who Starmer was before we got into office, it's obvious. Yeah. Um, yeah, the nature of British politics, of the British voting system and all that, has put him where he is. I know exactly how he's ended up as the leader. Um, history will judge him very cruelly, in my opinion, unless he pulls something really remarkable. I mean, he might have a logic somewhere. There might be a reason he's doing everything he's doing, and he's keeping it well hidden. Let's play devil's advocate here. he might be playing it very, very differently and then come up with an incredible thing, pull a complete rabbit out the hat and
I'd say pull the rabbit out of his ass. It's so well
well,
hidden.